you receive the keys, then that lets you know that, listen, we're good.
I'm proud to present to you our Finance Committee meeting minutes from 2025 and our monthly treasurer's report. All the way up to November, we have...
My brother, it's your baby. Here are the keys.
To welcome you with open arms. We're happy to have you.
Elder Fordham, my final challenge. Ebenezer, if you can stand. In closing, Pastor of this installation service, do not let yourself worry when you're doing your best. Hurry when success depends on accuracy. Place blame on anyone until you have all the facts. Believe a thing is impossible without first trying it. Waste time on trivial matters. Don't let yourself imagine that good intentions compromise a satisfying excuse. And don't let yourself harbor bitterness toward God and man. Always remember, a true minister is God's chosen, in God's place, doing God's work, in God's way, for God's glory. Congratulations.
I want to thank the choir, the praise team, all of the folks. Give you an amen, amen, amen. I want to acknowledge, first of all, they are my brothers, they are my sisters. Will the Pine Forge folks stand up one more time? And that includes my man, Dr. Charles Battles. These are the folks I grew up with, folks I went to school with. I want to thank them for showing up. They surprised me today. I love them. I love them. I love them. I want to acknowledge some of my family as well, which Jose and Pat and Johnetta, they're all back there, and I want to thank them, love them. And my man, Dew, y'all call him Elliot, my man, Dew. I love him, love him. I am not gonna take long at all with the lateness of the hour. I do have just a few folks I just want you to meet, just as an introduction of folks that are close to me, very close to me. I'm gonna ask Mayor John Street to come up for a second, Councilman Jimmy Harity, Senator Sharif Street, my brother Joe Fordham, and Aunt Mary Alice. Come on up here with me for just a moment. Come on up here. Come on up here. Let's not forget my cousin Milton. Come on, man. Y'all just come on up here. Come on up here. I need a microphone. If I could have a microphone really quick, a handheld. Need a microphone. Down here. Now, I have these folks coming, Dr. Williams, just for a reason. First of all, I also just acknowledge some of my former members from the Mizpah Seventh-day Adventist Church. Mizpah is in the house. And Macedonia folks, they're in the house. I think I saw a few LC folks sneaking in somewhere. I think I saw them. I want them to they're going to take just a sentence. First of all, I'm going to ask for Councilman Harity to step up for just a moment. I want you to understand how important this church is to the community. And sometimes you don't know what you have. You don't know what you've been to others. So these folks have experiences with this church. And I just want to give you a couple of sentences on that. And Councilman Harity, he and I have been through the wars together. We worked in campaigns together. We worked for the city together under one of the toughest bosses that you could ever have. Don't want to talk about anybody behind his back. I am literally talking about him behind my own back. So I just want them to say just a word or two.
Hello, everyone. Shawn is very modest. We did work together. I worked for Shawn. Shawn was the boss. Shawn gave me my first actual big break in government, in a government job. He's seen something in me that nobody else really saw. Before I even knew anything was there, you know, and as Senator Street always says, we plan and God plans, and God always has a better plan. The thing was, I wasn't actually ready at that time. He gave me the chance, but I squandered it, right? And you learn life lessons, but that wasn't it. He never gave up on me. He was always there. When I needed help, I would go to him like he was my brother. You understand? And then when I finally got it together, there he was again. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of guy you're getting. A true gentleman. I'm proud of you, brother.
I want you all to just see him because he is a South Philly guy. Senator Sharif Street.
Giving honor to God. It is great to be up here. It's an honor to be here with Pastor Fordham. Shawn is my big cousin. When I think about this church has been the center of our lives in so many ways. But you know, our clan, the Fordhams, the Streets, the Halls, the Wrights, we were mostly disruptive kids. We were not exactly the least. And Shawn was probably the ringleader of people being disruptive.
Stick to the importance of Ebenezer, please. Thank you.
But it's amazing to watch the growth that God can have in our lives. But I will tell you, your pastor is a person who, to me, has been, you know, I was the oldest of my siblings, but Shawn was always like a big brother to me. He pulled us together. He was able to pull people together. He pulls you up when you're down. But Shawn, like his father and mine, I'm sure you'll hear from at some point, believed in tough love. I remember I was having a really bad day, and I was talking about all the things we did to the kid. And Shawn said, I need you to stop whining. He said, God woke you up this morning. He gave you an opportunity, and you need to get it together because we have things to do. And then I was like, got offended. And he said, you know, I can still beat you. But I will tell you this, he did pull it together. He helped me pull myself together. And as a consequence, that he is the person that you want in the foxhole with you. He's the person that will give you tough love and give it with God's grace. He is a person who is a great organizer, and he is a person that will help this church continue its great legacy of being the center of a community. And when we were children, this church was, in fact, for many in the Philadelphia Allegheny East Conference, was the epicenter of life in the community. And so I am confident that under the leadership of Pastor Fordham, we will continue in that great legacy again, and he will do a great job. And since he's a pastor now, y'all got to tell him he can't be threatening to beat me up every time I don't agree with him. Now, we love you, Shawn. Thank you.
Mayor Street, the importance of this church.
To God be the glory. Great things he has done, so lovely the world that he gave us his son. I am enormously pleased to be here today. When I saw the youth choir, the young people singing, I said to myself, that was me about 70 years ago. You know, Ebenezer Seventh-day Adventist Church was everything to me. Everything. I tell people, when I was in 9th grade, my teachers told me that I wasn't college material. And I said, that ain't what Brother Glenn said. Elder Rogers didn't say I wasn't college material. And when I went to my 5-year high school class reunion, I was the only college graduate, the only one. And the foundation for all of it was right here. And I sometimes wonder how much better our world would be if every young person, if every child had an Ebenezer in his or her life. And I had another experience that I'd like to share for you just a minute, and I promise I'll be brief, no matter how long it takes. You know, when I was at Oakwood College, and I think I finished up my 2nd year, and I came home, and you had to pay off your old bill and have your admissions fee, and you could get in, and I needed to work, and I met with some guys that all went to Conshohocken High School, and they were all getting jobs at Quaker Chemical, and they were paying like $20 an hour. These guys were all riding around in Mustangs. You remember the Mustang, that old Mustang? And they said, you got to go down there and get one of those jobs. So I hustled down, and the guy says, oh my, we just filled our last slide. And so I go back and tell the guys, and they say, he lying. And so what we did was we sent a white guy down there, and he got hired on the spot. And so they told me, you have to do something about it. You can't take that. And I said, no, I can't. I can't get involved in that now. I gotta go to work. I gotta get back to Oakwood. I got something to do. You know, I just can't do it. And I just said, I gotta let it go. And I went on about my business. I worked, and I went back to Oakwood. And when I went to my 10-year class reunion, the people that got the jobs at Quaker Chemical were dying of cancer. And I said, oh my God. All things work together for good, to them that love the Lord. And for me, it all started right here at Ebenezer Seventh-day Adventist Church, in the balcony, sitting in Brother Glenn's class, asking him a lot of hard questions. Now, you know, you are really, really blessed, because Pastor Fordham is very special. And I know he's special because you had to be special to get me reelected to a 2nd term in city as mayor of the city of Philadelphia. But he is a spiritual person. He's a workaholic. He has faith. And I know that this church and this community is going to flourish under his leadership. And I intend to be right there with him. God bless you.
Now, I'm saving her for last. I want my cousin Milton Jr. and my brother Joe Fordham to step up, and just because Ebenezer meant something to us as kids. This is where we spent every Christmas. But Milt, Joe.
Wow. Good morning, or afternoon, I should say. You know, I'm sitting here in the pew, and I'm reflecting on back when I was a kid. My grandfather was an instrumental part of this church, James Howard Street Sr. I'm sure some of you can remember. And my grandmother, Geneva Fordham. We used to sit right there every Sabbath. You know, David, Mama G, and Tom Tom, you know. And I'm just sitting here reflecting. I'm looking at my cousin, my older cousin, I should say. And, you know, we were brought up in this church. And it all began here. You know, it all began here with my grandfather and my grandmother. And here I am today, you know, standing here at Ebenezer, you know. It's just a wonderful privilege to be here. And you have a great leader in my cousin Shawn. You know, he's going to do wonderful things at this church. And I love you, man. Yeah.
I was sitting there listening to my brother being installed as pastor. And I realized that for us, it's not so much an installation as a homecoming. Ebenezer has always been the Fordham family church, the street family church. We grew up in these pews. My father grew up here. My aunts were married here. They were buried here. And I sat there and thought how proud Henry Joseph Fordham III would be to see his son take the helm of the family church. You know, my brother almost died in this church. We didn't know back then he was allergic to bee stings. We were in the basement. Bee came in, hit him, laid him out. Everybody panicked at the hospital a whole bit. Even then, the Lord saw fit to save my brother, to know he was going to have to guide the family church. So, as his older brother, I love this man more than any man in the world. And I'm thankful that he has now been selected to guide the family church. You're not just getting him, you're getting me as well. And the streets. We'll all be filling the pews every week. Love you, brother.
And now, this is very special for her to even come. We hold her up as in the family. She was one of my father's just most favorite cousins, and they loved each other. She is the daughter of the former pastor of the Ebenezer Seventh-day Adventist Church. My first cousin once removed. Y'all didn't know my uncle from 1954 to 1959, Wilmot Fordham, was the pastor of this church. Please give a warm amen welcome to Aunt Mary Alice, the daughter of Wilmot Fordham.
I want to say welcome. I'm so grateful to be here. When I came in, I sat back there for Sabbath school class. I was up here for choir rehearsal. I was up there when I got baptized by my dad, Wilmot Fordham, and Elder C.D. Brooks. I guess it took two of them, because that lineage of being good follows me. So I'm just so grateful for what the Lord has done and is doing for you, Shawn, and will do. He comes from a background of hard workers, dedicated workers. It's in the blood because he loves what he does. He came from pastors who dedicated their lives to being servants for the Lord. And I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for him. He's a prayer. He's a worker. And you all will grow because this church was the church. This church will be, again, the church. We used to spend Saturday, they would have to get us to go home. We'd be outside for hours, just being with each other. That connection needs to be revisited because to get us to heaven, we've got to connect with each other. We've got to learn each other. We've got to know one another. So this is what I see in the future. Pray for him. Pray for him. And the Lord is going to lead him. He already has. And I know that you'll support him as we support him, as our family supports him. We're so grateful for him. So I thank you. And he made sure I got here. I said, I don't drive that far anymore. I used to, but not anymore. I'm just grateful to be here. Thank you.
Now, don't be afraid. That was actually part of my sermon. They were here for a specific reason, although I thank them for their their well wishes for me, I wanted you to understand that we as a family know the work of this church. We know your works. The book of Revelations, Jesus wrote letters to the 7 churches. He dictated the letters to the 7 churches. In the letters to the 7 churches, he says, I know your works. I know what you've done. I know what you wanted to do. I know what you've tried to do. I know what your successes have been. I know what your setbacks have been. I know what you've experienced. I know what you tried to do. I know what you've wanted to do. I know the desires of your heart, and I know your works. I know what you've meant in the neighborhood. I know what you've meant to the community. I know where you have been. I know where you're going. I know your works. The Lord is writing to these 7 churches, Elder Hayden. He's writing these churches, letting them understand, I know what you're going through. I've been there while you've been going through it. To the church of Pergamos, he is the Christ, the God that's coming with the 2-headed sword, because he's got to cut foolishness inside the doors of the church. To the church of Ephesus, he's the Christ that's coming to remind them that they have lost their first love, and to remind them that he is a presence still today in the doors and the pews of their church. He's coming to these churches in Smyrna. He's reminding them that he is the first and the last. He's dead and alive, and he was the eternal nature and over death. He's the encouragement to a church that has been suffering and persecuted. I know your works. He's coming to these churches with an understanding of where he is, but when he gets to the church of Philadelphia, so I want you to understand something. He comes to the church of Philadelphia. One time, when you thought of Philadelphia, you thought of the Ebenezer church. There was a time there was no Germantown. There was no Southwest. There was no West. Deacon Donnie Cunningham. There was no Mizpah. You wanted to worship, there was one place you had to come. You wanted to worship, there was only one place to go. You wanted to hear good music, you know where you had to be. Sister Ann Foster, it was the church of Ebenezer. He's writing to the church of